Welcome to Teen Talk,
Welcome to Teen Talk.
presented by Prominent Youth of America.
Hey guys, welcome to Teen Talk News. I'm Canaan,
I'm Amir.
and today we have a special guest. We are joined by a woman whose work is challenging lives right here in Louisville, Dr. Smith. She turned her own journey into a mission, earning her doctorate and becoming a licensed therapist dedicated to helping others heal. She is the founder of Total Life Counseling and Wellness, where she takes a whole person approach to mental health, blending therapy with fitness and physical wellness. She is passionate about breaking the stigma around therapy, especially in the Black community. Now, welcome, Dr. Smith.
Thank you all for having me.
Of course.
You've added fitness into your daily healing process. How can exercise improve mental health, confidence, and emotional resilience?
In a lot of ways. So where do we start? It can definitely improve your mood. So when you exercise, you release something called endorphins, positive endorphins. They're hormones that make you happy, basically. I call them happy hormones. So when you work out, you instantly you feel better when you work out. So that's the main reason. Your anxiety decreases, your depression decreases, and you just feel better overall. Mm. As far as confidence, I would say if you can work hard in the gym, that transfers to everything you do outside of the gym. So if you can lift heavy and, do your best in the gym, you can do your best anywhere. So, and that builds a lot of confidence.
Tell us about your journey growing up in West Louisville and what inspired you to become a therapist and eventually earn your doctorate.
Oh, wow. That is a loaded question. My journey growing up in West Louisville is very interesting. So I grew up in the California neighborhood. Mm-hmm. It was fun times. I was a cheerleader. We went to the park every day. We just had a carefree childhood. Mm-hmm. So, but then I became a single mom at 17. So once I became a mom, I just really buckled down in school. I ended up going to school full-time, working full-time, and I feel like when I was in school studying, I started off in the business program first. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't thinking about becoming a therapist until I started taking psychology classes and actually working with kids. Mm-hmm. So while I was working with kids that looked like me, where I grew up at, that's when it clicked. And I told myself, okay, this is what I need to do. So that's when I started really thinking about working with kids with their mental health and families.
Did you know what type of business you wanted to do, or did you just go in?
I had no idea. I had no idea, guys. Like I said, I started off in business. I thought about nursing at one point, but then I really don't like body fluids. So yeah. I said, I'm done with that. But I saw a lot of kids struggling, and I told myself I want to give them what I was missing out on, because I didn't see a lot of Black mental health therapists that looked like me. Yeah. So I wanted to change that narrative when it came to mental health.
What are some common misconceptions about going to therapy, especially in the Black community, and how can we help remove that stigma?
Okay. It's a lot of misconceptions. I would say the first one is that a lot of people, when they hear about mental health, they instantly say, okay, well, that's for crazy people. I don't know if you all heard people say that. Our people feel like you have to have something seriously wrong with you or significant for you to go to therapy, and that's just not the case. A lot of people go to therapy when they're having transitional issues. Maybe you lost a job or you're being bullied at school. It doesn't have to be very serious for you to go to therapy. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of Black people have that stigma because they feel like, okay, I don't want people in my home. I don't want to talk about my business. So then they're like, okay, I'm going to leave therapy alone. But I feel like it's becoming more acceptable now. Like a lot of people are starting to reach out for therapy. Mm. Kids too. A lot of kids are asking for it, parents. So I feel like we're making a conway when it comes to mental health in our community.
You often say that mental health and physical health go together. Why is it important for people to care about both their minds and their bodies?
Mental health and physical health directly go hand in hand. Like I said earlier, it does improve your mood. So when you do exercise, it increases your positive thinking patterns. Your body affects your mind. If you have any type of physical physical things going on with your body, that's going to negatively affect your mood, and vice versa. If you have mental health issues, that can cause issues in your body. Anxiety, trauma stored in your body, so you can have body aches from trauma. They just correlate hand in hand. So you really can't focus on one without the other.
Mm-hmm.
If you could change one thing, for students who have experienced trauma, violence, or loss, what are some healthy first steps toward healing?
Trauma and loss, I would say exercise, because trauma is stored in your body. Talking about your loss, a lot of times we don't want to talk about it because it is difficult when you do lose someone. Developing healthy coping skills, journaling, things like that, and just having grief counseling with your whole family to process the loss.
Many teenagers struggle with anxiety, depression, and stress. What are some warning signs that they should never ignore?
Oh, there's a lot of warning signs. What I see normally with kids is isolation. That may not look normal. Like if you have a kid that's very outgoing and you all of a sudden see that kid isolating themselves, being standoffish, staying in their rooms more, not talking, that's a telltale sign that something's wrong. Trouble sleeping, anger outbursts, just being very irritable. Your mood is different, things like that. Depression, crying spells. Those are things that you can tell from the outside if you really know that person. Changes in routines, that's a big one. Like I said, if you're outgoing and you stop doing the things that you like to do, the things that's enjoyable to you, that's a huge sign.
If you could change one thing about how students and communities support young people's mental health, what would it be?
If I could change one thing, I would say increasing more enjoyable activities. A lot of times people say there aren't a lot of things for you all to do. Even if it is things that you all can do, they have to be relatable. We have to get down on you all's level. So if it can be programs that involve music, arts, physical activity, exercise, just things that you all can relate to, I feel like that'll help a whole lot.
As the founder of Total Life Counseling and Wellness, what inspired you to start your own practice, and what gap are you hoping to fulfill in our community?
Oh, wait. What inspired me? I really didn't have a choice at the time when I started my practice. So I had worked in different settings, hospitals, schools, a variety of places for about a decade before I started my practice. I was working at JCYC before they shut down. So I was in the process of starting my business part-time, but I wasn't thinking about starting it full-time. I really enjoyed working with those kids. So when they shut down, they were going to transfer me somewhere else full-time, and I was like, nah, at this point, I really need to just do this full-time and incorporate my own practices in the community. So at that point, I was ready. So I didn't have a choice, but I knew I was ready at that point because in my practice, I'm able to bring, physical health, focus on trauma-informed care, and do it the way that it relates to my community. And a lot of times I can't do that working for other agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Teen Talk News is all about empowering young voices to. What message would you like every teenager watching this interview to remember when life becomes difficult?
Just to know that they can make it through, and just to believe in themselves, believe in your own capabilities, just believing in who you are as a person and tapping in your inner strengths and your coping skills. And also relying on your support systems too. Don't be afraid to ask questions, talk about your feelings, and hold things in, because we are here to support you all.
Social media has become a huge part of teenagers' lives. In your professional opinion, what are the biggest mental health challenges, and what are some healthy ways that they could do, how can young people use social media in healthier ways?
What I see challenging, especially for young females, issues with body dysmorphia, having low self-esteem, and just comparing ourselves to other girls. And I know boys do that too. So I would say start following more positive people. That's for one, because we do see a lot of negative things on social media. Every time we open that app, it's so many negative things that you're taking in daily. Yeah. And then we have to realize that we don't need to compare ourselves to other people, because we are all unique. We all have our own capabilities, our own gifts. So just taking into account that we're different, and just knowing that we're unique and we don't need to compare ourselves with other people. And one way you can do that is engaging in positive affirmations every day, just speaking life into yourself, just positive things. It could be as simple as, I know I'm great, I'm capable, things like that. The more affirmations and positive things that you feed yourself, you're able to deal with things mentally and physically every day. So regardless of what you see, you're able to come back to yourself and know that, you're enough.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions that we have for you today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have
Bye-bye,
a
guys.
question, though.
Thank you.
How old is your kid?
How are my kids, my personal kids? My kids. I have two older sons. They're 25, 23, and my daughters are 13 and 7. It's a big gap.
Ours has a big gap, too. Well, not between me and him. Our age gap is 3, but, me and my sister were 6, and they're 9 years apart. So, yeah. Any more questions? Do you have any questions for us?
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed this.
All right, well, that's all for today. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Special thanks to our guests for stopping by today. And thank you all so much for watching.